Most men think a woman decides to commit when she likes you enough, but that's not what actually happens. The truth is, many men lose the commitment decision long before they even know the decision is being made. And the worst part is, when it finally becomes clear, it already feels too late. She starts saying things like, "I'm just not ready for something serious," or "I need to focus on myself right now." And you sit there thinking, but everything was good. You were showing up, you were consistent, you were treating her well. So how did you lose the moment where she decided you were not the man she wants to commit to? Listen, if you understand what I'm about to explain, you will start seeing the exact moment women make that decision. And once you see it, you'll never miss it again. And if you're the kind of man who wants to understand women instead of blaming them, subscribe. Not because I'm asking for support, but because the men who stay here usually end up seeing relationships much clearer than everyone around them. Now, here is the uncomfortable truth many men never hear. Women don't decide commitment based on how much effort you give. They decide commitment based on how they feel about the man they are standing next to in their social world. That difference is where everything changes. Let me explain something most men quietly experience but rarely say out loud. You meet a woman, the connection feels good, you talk every day, you spend time together, you feel close. But then one day, something small happens. Maybe you are at a small birthday party with her friends. Nothing dramatic, just normal conversation, but she introduces you casually. "This is Mark, we've been hanging out." And something about the tone sits wrong in your chest. Not disrespectful exactly, but not proud either. And suddenly, your brain starts replaying everything. Wait, how does she actually see me? Am I the guy she's excited about, or just the guy who is there? That small moment is where many men start to feel the quiet fear, because commitment decisions often happen in social comparison moments like this. Women naturally ask themselves questions they may never say out loud. How does this man carry himself? How do people respond to him? How does he respond to pressure? Does he feel steady or does he feel uncertain? But here's what men don't realize. She is not judging you like a critic. She is asking herself something deeper. If I attach my life to this man, will I feel safe in the long run? And safety for women is not only about kindness, it's about emotional stability, confidence, direction, the feeling that this man knows who he is. Now, here's where many men unknowingly destroy their chances. They start trying to convince her they are worth committing to. More texts, more reassurance, more emotional explanations, more availability. But here's what men don't realize. Commitment is not created through persuasion. Commitment is created through perceived value stability. Let me show you what that looks like in real life. You're sitting on the couch together one night, conversation is calm. Then she says something slightly uncomfortable. "I'm not sure what I want right now." Your chest tightens. Your brain immediately starts calculating. Did I do something wrong? Is she losing interest? Is there another guy? So you respond quickly. "I mean, I really like you. I'm serious about this." And that sounds reasonable, but what she hears emotionally is something different. She hears pressure mixed with uncertainty, and uncertainty from a man quietly lowers attraction, not because women enjoy confusing men, but because emotional stability is one of the strongest signals women use when deciding long-term partners. Here's the deeper truth. Women are constantly measuring how calm a man remains when the relationship becomes unclear, because relationships always become unclear at some point. Conflict, distance, stress, family pressure, life problems. And the man who remains steady during uncertainty is the man who feels safe to commit to. But many men do the opposite. They become reactive, over-explaining, over-checking, over-investing emotionally before the commitment decision is made. And that one mistake quietly shifts how she sees him. Let's look at another moment many men recognize. You text her, no reply. An hour passes, 2 hours. Now your mind starts doing something dangerous. It starts building stories. Maybe she's losing interest. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe she's talking to someone else. Your chest tightens again. So you send another message. "Everything okay?" Seems harmless, but what it signals emotionally is something else. You are asking for reassurance before she has chosen commitment. And when that pattern repeats over time, something subtle happens. The emotional balance shifts. You become the man who needs certainty from her, instead of the man who creates emotional certainty around himself. And women feel that shift immediately. Let me say something important here. Women don't choose commitment based on who tries the hardest. They choose commitment based on who feels most solid emotionally. Not cold, not distant, solid. There is a difference. A solid man still shows care, he still shows attention, but his identity does not start shaking when the relationship becomes unclear. Now, here is another truth many men experience but rarely talk about. Sometimes the moment she decides not to commit happens when she sees you competing for her approval. Maybe it's a small moment. You're with her and her friends. Another guy is joking confidently, relaxed, not trying to impress, and suddenly you feel the urge to prove something. You talk more, you explain your achievements, you try to show your value. And the irony is that moment often does the opposite, because commitment decisions are deeply tied to status perception, not social status like money or fame, but emotional status. The feeling that this man does not need to compete for validation, he already respects himself. And when a woman feels that energy, commitment becomes easier, because attachment naturally follows respect. Now, here's something that may surprise you. Many women delay commitment not because they don't like the man, but because they're still observing his emotional patterns. How does he react to distance? How does he react to disagreement? How does he react when things don't go his way? These small moments are the real commitment test. Not romantic dinners, not long conversations, not promises. Behavior under emotional tension. That's why some men feel confused. They think everything is going well, but small reactions are slowly shaping how she sees them. Now, let me give you a truth drop that many men need to hear. A woman commits when she believes being with you will make her life emotionally calmer, not more chaotic. Think about that carefully. Calmer. Not perfect, not dramatic, calmer. If your reactions create emotional turbulence, commitment starts feeling risky to her. But if your presence brings emotional steadiness, commitment starts feeling natural. Now, what should you actually do with this understanding? First, stop trying to rush the commitment decision. Women can feel pressure very quickly. Instead, focus on building emotional stability signals. That means when she pulls back slightly, you stay calm. When plans change, you stay balanced. When conversations become uncomfortable, you remain respectful but grounded. This does not mean accepting bad behavior. It means responding instead of reacting. Second, slow down the habit of seeking reassurance. Instead of asking, "Are we okay?" every time something feels uncertain, watch behavior patterns over time. Consistency reveals more than reassurance. Third, keep your life active outside the relationship. This is not a trick, it is psychological balance. Men who maintain purpose, friendships, work, and direction naturally project stability, and stability is one of the strongest commitment signals. Now, here's the mindset shift I want you to take from this conversation. Stop asking, "How do I make her commit?" Start asking, "Am I the kind of man whose presence makes commitment feel safe?" Because when a woman answers yes to that question internally, the commitment conversation usually happens on its own. This week, try something simple. Pay attention to your reactions when the relationship feels slightly uncertain. Do you chase clarity immediately? Do you over-explain your feelings? Or do you stay calm and let actions reveal the truth? If you want words to use, keep them simple. Instead of saying, "I need to know where this is going," you can calmly say, "I enjoy spending time with you. Let's see where things naturally go." That sentence shows interest without pressure. And here's something you should stop doing immediately. Stop trying to prove your value through constant emotional investment. Value is felt through consistency and self-respect, not persuasion. If something feels unclear, give it space instead of forcing answers. And if a woman truly decides not to commit, remain calm and respectful, because the man who keeps his dignity even in disappointment often becomes the man women respect the most later. Your goal is not to force commitment. Your goal is to become the kind of man whose presence makes commitment feel like the obvious choice. Stay steady, stay clear about who you are, and never let temporary uncertainty shake your identity. That alone separates the men who get quietly replaced from the men women eventually decide they don't want to lose.